I'm going to double check and make sure it's streaming. Are we streaming? Yes, we are. Awesome. Alrighty. Good Monday, or should we say Moon Day? Since we had a big moon thing, right?
Yeah.
This is Dee with Critical Break, along with Sir Edward. And the House of N and the House of L are going to have a chat again today. Please keep in mind that not all of our opinions are the same about certain topics, but we are family and we respect each other and we expect the same out of the people in the chat. So, with that said, we'll get rolling because we've got a lot to talk about today. And some people are under the impression this is an interview. And I wanted to make it really clear. This is just Sir Edward and myself having chats about what we chat about. And after a long time of chatting between us, the idea that the information that you all would gain from eavesdropping on those chats would be beneficial. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, so it's not an interview. We're just talking, and there's epiphanies, discoveries, and a lot of knowledge to be had. And so that's what this is about. And yeah, so today's going to be fantastic because the topics we're covering today are mind-blowing. And many of you will walk away perplexed, confused, perhaps shocked. But in the end, what matters to me the most is the truth. That's what I'm here for. And what I want you all to know is the truth. Anyway, so we'll get started. We're going to start just talking about current stuff. He was just filling me in on something that was happening in Kentucky.
Go ahead and tell them what we were perplexing on.
What were we? What would you say again? Sorry.
We were discussing pineapple juice.
Oh, yes, pineapple juice. Yeah, we talked about that too.
That's good comedy right there. Right, Ira?
Yeah, some people probably are wondering what the pineapple juice is all about. Let me double check and make sure our audio is good. Can you guys hear both of us about the same? If you guys could give me a heads up, that'd be awesome. And thank you so much for being here. It's really great to see all of you. So, can you, yeah, you can hear us both okay? Awesome. Yay. Hopefully it's good and balanced. I sure hope so. Sir Edward needs more volume.
My volume's all the way up. Sorry.
Okay. They say most of them are agreeing that the sound's okay, so we'll stick with it. All right. Anyway, so make sure you save any questions for the end because we'll be so busy talking, we're not going to be able to really track the chat so much. I'll read through it after the fact, but during the actual stream, save them for the end of what we got going. Today's probably going to go long, so I asked Sir Edward if he was ready for a marathon. He said, yep, he's up for it. So, so we may take a break in there a little bit. So, because we are in biosuits just as you are, and so breaks might be needed in this one. So it'd be a good time for you guys to take a break too, probably at the same time. Just FYI. Anyway, so we'll get back to the pineapple juice.
Eh, those who don't understand the pineapple juice, look it up, like Ira did. Be seated when you find the hidden joke in it. Eh, I haven't restocked my pineapple juice in several days. I got to do that. I do like pineapple juice though, especially when I go walking or hiking.
It's got good
But
vitamins.
anyway, let's start on our little conversation. Oh, I know what I would like to start with your permission.
What's that?
The ones who have been talking, read my last three articles about the mark of Cain, the M on the hands, and thank you, sister, for bringing that to many people's attention. But
Most welcome.
I've had a few questions asked me about it. Well, I don't have O negative blood, or I'm AB or whatever and everything. I'm not going to be saved. I'm not going to make the Exodus. I'm not going to, let me tell you something. If you don't have the M and you don't have O negative blood, doesn't mean that, well, sorry for your bad luck. It does mean that many people don't realize where the pure O negative bloodline, and especially the ones who had the mark, where it got sidetracked. And because you don't have it doesn't mean that you're a lesser person. It means probably that maybe just somewhere on the line that eventually you'll get off that sidetrack and you'll come back to the main line. God, I love this train terminology. But once you get back on the main line, your body will immediately start transitioning back to its original form. And when I say original form, no, you're not going to become a six-legged amoeba with 1,400 eyes. No, it means that your body will start transforming back into its natural priorities, where the blood, because the O negative blood is a very powerful, powerful system within your body. I think the old saying was, there's power in the blood. Well, that's a true statement, but O negative blood, although it's very unique, very rare, it's able to transition from one blood and take over that blood and eventually be one type. In other words, O negative. This is a scientific and medical fact. That's why they call the O negative blood a universal blood. But it can also be derailed by the introduction of another blood type. And if that other blood type is just brought in through basic, genetics and stuff, then the O negative is never destroyed. That's another medical fact, but it can be diluted. It can be brought down from its properties, its priorities, or the antioxidants that it carries. And if we look in history, we see where the people lived long ages. Again, historically and medically, scientifically proven that the people that's got the O negative blood in the high concentrations of the RH factor, they live long. I mean, their longevity is just phenomenal. The Bible tells us about this. But no, if you do not have the O negative blood, I don't worry, people. And if you don't have the mark of Cain, don't worry about it. When you're taken, we'll brand you. We'll brand you. It's good to laugh, about this stuff. It is, because I mean, it's quite comical to see the many questions that are asked about this. And they're not dumb questions. It's just that when I say I'm laughing, I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing with them, because it is a joy that people now are starting to realize. Holy cow! I've had stuff taken from me, but I want it back. And the questions are the people wanting to get their inheritance back. That's just the way I look at it.
Oh,
What are we drinking there?
coffee.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I drank mine black.
Mine just has a little
Oh,
raw organic um, uh, casein, A2 casein milk, which is Jersey. So, yeah. Yep, yep.
okay.
But anyway,
Oh
in the
my God,
current, huh?
D.
What?
Oh my God, we've got a heat wave going on here. We went from the time you and I came on from 36, we're at 38 now. Ooh, be ready to break the shorts out here shortly. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just lighthearted today.
Yeah, the
So
wind chill's crazy here. The wind's really whipping.
mm, we've got no wind. It's beautiful here today compared to the last few days. It was beautiful yesterday, but it was brutally cold.
Yeah, yeah, it was. The wind chill here is not helping matters today either. Hopefully, as the week goes on, that'll resolve a bit. Knock on wood. But, I was looking at the news and Israel's firing on Iran.
No, no, that's not true. They're firing on Iranian troops in Syria.
Um, let me,
Unless that happened in the last 2 hours.
um, Israel strikes Iranian targets in Damascus. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
yep.
in Syria.
And another thing that's going on that's interesting is, and it's interesting that we backed out of Syria, but Israel is firing on them. You must ask the question why. It's like I always tell everybody that follows my channel, don't stop asking the question why.
Well, would you like an analogy of that?
Sure.
For one, this nation that has no damn business being in Syria. There is nothing worth dying over in that worthless, how did Trump say it, shithole. I'm just repeating the president's own words. Second of all, I look at Syria as a maggot infested community. Look at all the trash that's evolved in there for the last 30 years. Trash. So now let's take a peek at Israel. The Jewish nation is a small badger living amongst a den of vipers and lions. And that badger is all by its lonesome self over there. And it's badgers. Let me tell you something. There is nothing no more dangerous than a cornered animal. No matter how big it is, if it's cornered, that animal is going to become very, very vicious to defend itself. Israel is defending itself, the nation of Israel, I will say. Um, I sympathize with them people. I really do. I have friends that live in Israel. Yet, we all want to say this and say that about the people of the Middle East. Well, I sympathize with the people of the Middle East, whether they're Muslim or whoever they are. But it only goes so far because the people of the Middle East, the descendants of Ishmael, and we will discuss that today, I hope. The descendants of Ishmael have allowed this over the course of several hundreds of years. It goes back again to religion. It's all about religion. Uh, Muslims killing Muslims. The Sunnis are killing the Shia, and vice versa. And God forbid if you go in there and say, well, you know what? I'm from America. Yeah, well, you was from America. We're going to send you back in 2 and 3 and 4 maybe pieces, or you never found again. And then now we've got 6 Americans in jail in Iran. My big question here is, why in the hell would you want to go to Iran anyway? What did you lose over there? If you lost something, leave it. That can always be replaced. It is a political, religious pawn game. It is a religious and political chess match that's going on. And to say we're Israel or Syria, you know what? That's a good thing. Let them kill one another. It's almost like what we see in this country, the youth killing the youth, and God forbid an elderly person get caught in the crossfire, even to the point that, well, we don't care. We'll just go shoot a 4, 5, or 6-year-old girl or little boy, and it doesn't matter to us. The same principles happening over there.
The other thing that's going on over in the news that's interesting is Russia sets up nuclear missiles near Ukraine border. Crimea crisis deepens.
That is a true statement.
Yeah.
That is a true statement. So, why is Russia moving nuclear weapons? Now, these are not big ICBMs, these are tactical missiles, kind of like cruise missiles, but they are nuclear armed. Why are you moving them to Ukraine? Well, just possibly because we've got nuclear ships floating around in the Baltic Sea, like saying, here I am, bring it on, big boy. You know, somebody wants to go down in history as I'm the one that started World War III. This is my heartburn with the current administration because I want to go down in history as the greatest of the greatest. And I want to be the one noted that I started World War III. Don't give a damn about how many people I'll kill or how many people over here will get killed, but I want to go down in history. Nuclear weapons will never, ever be used again on this planet. Ever. And with that said, calmer minds will not prevail. Somebody's going to say, well, I have the key, I have the codes, let's let them fly. Well, all I can say, if you let them fly, they're going to fall right back into your lap. They're not going to fly too far. What else is on the agenda?
Let's see. There's a couple of things. Some monks got killed. Makes me very sad. 2 Buddhist monks.
Where was that at?
Huh?
Where was that at?
In a temple in Thailand. Mainly Muslim South. But yeah. And I hate these websites because they put their ads all over everything.
I know it.
Terrorists dressed as
sure
police shoot dead 2 abbots and wound 2 monks in gun attack on Buddhist temple in Muslim region of South Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Another thing of interest, Pope Francis launches new Click to Pray app. Right? We both have to chuckle at that, right?
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. It's interesting, right?
Yeah. It reminds me of the Assembly of Gods a few years ago. Had a website out, uh, prayer.com or something. I don't remember what it was. It was the Assembly of God. And you actually type in your prayer, and it is immediately sent to God for a small donation to the Assembly of Gods. God bless you, child. How much are you going to? We do take MasterCard, Visa, Discovery, and Carte Blanche. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No personal checks. Like I said, you can't make this crap up. I mean, it's. Yeah.
Yeah. We both seem to have the same disdain for the Vatican and the fact that they've used the system they've put in place to manipulate and control the population of the planet
Mm-hmm.
and lie to them and
Mm-hmm.
manipulate the ancient text.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what I knew
But
as a
what about been?
child when you read the Bible? That it was manipulated? That it had been tampered
Did
with?
I know that as a child?
Did you know that as
Did
a
I know
child?
that as?
Huh?
Well, I let people know, especially our Christian friends, and I'm very bold. I mean, I tell people, no, I am not a Christian. No, I belong to no denomination. But yes, I know there is a creator. Yes, I know where I came from. And yes, 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 I know who I am. I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. Frankly, I didn't care. But the more I read and the more I studied the Bible as a young child and talked to the various ministers that would come by to see this little demonic short haired kid, I still laugh at them today. I would learn certain things in the Bible are true. Many things in the Bible are true. And as most people that do study the Bible know that the Bible is not in chronological order. So how come this event says this, but this historical marker says otherwise? The dates are not correct. Why are they saying this date? Why are they saying that date? Being an archaeologist and being blessed to go to many sites over the course of my time, I realized that a lot of the dates were purposely changed to throw people off. Uh, it was like he was telling me earlier. They found some skulls in Africa and they dated them at 1.8 million years ago. I
Yep.
believe that's what you said.
Yeah, it's 1.8 million years, a
Well,
jaw.
if that is the case, how come the carbon dating, and the carbon dating is pretty accurate, and we've got a modern type of measuring now. I think it's called carbon 18, which is more accurate, gets you a little bit closer to time span. That the Sumerians, the Sumerian cuneiforms, their story of creation has been centered close to 412,000 years ago. That's when the genetics started. The first noted man and the first noted records, I'm not talking about cave drawings, I'm talking about actual cuneiforms, are dating to the first human genetically created species walked about 212,000 years ago. Now we've got a 200,000 time span right in there where what was going on? Well, we don't know what was going on. Some of the records were destroyed. Some of the records have never been found, and some of the records are just, well, guess what, people? You're never going to see them because, well, Pope Francis and company have got them in their vaults. If the truth comes out and finds out, my understanding through the Sumerian cuneiforms, and especially the Dead Sea Scrolls, which talks about some of this, we have to really rely on a lot of evidence that Enoch was trying to tell humanity, as he noted it down, that man was a special being. He was created to be better than the creators. And if you understand the biblical record, and again, like I said, I'm not a Christian. I don't claim to be a Christian. I claim to be a child of God, like, well, most people should be. Christianity has really ran people over the course of the years. It has blood on its hands, just like the Catholic Church, just like the Muslims do. I do not want to be connected to any of it, period. But I do know the Bible. If we see these time periods, these time frames, and these special events that are noted through recorded history, it's also noted that many of the ancient structures, like the city of Luxor, which some people might not know, it's known as the city of the gods. Gods, more than one. Well, our Bible tells us that also. And yet, how many people out there truly know who God is? Zero, until the other day. And I want to thank everybody. Yes, I've caused a massive controversy, but think about the biblical verses that I sent you. And especially Lisa, not Lisa in Idaho, but the Lisa that lives in Scotland. Mark over in Belgium. Several people, especially some of the friends that have been sending me the Skype messages from Brazil, Australia. I appreciate your remarks. I appreciate the kind words that you've sent to me. And I do these things purposely so you will see exactly who you are. Because knowing who God is, then you're discovering your own self. And yeah, some of us do have the bloodline. Some of us are in the pure RH factors of the bloodline. But those who don't have the bloodline, that doesn't make you a lesser person. Things can change. Things are going to change. That the creation story shall be restored back to its fullest. Because the very first verse in Genesis, the very first verse in any Bible, and I have 18 of them here, and they all talk a different story, song and dance. But that very verse says, "For God existed before time began." That says a lot. The Bible's not in chronological order, though. So when I said possibly the DNA structure is God, yeah, now you've got your right side of your brain working overtime, and now your left side of your brain is going to kick in to pick up the slack. Well, how do you know this for sure? We don't know it 100%, but I would say a very good figure would be, let's say, 85 to 90% accuracy. Because if we go into Revelations 13, 18, the 666, I call it the divine number. It is the mark of the beast, and it is also the mark number of man. And I've explained that this past week in Project Aquarius about that 666. Here is where religion has lied to people. It's the number of the beast. It's the number of the Antichrist. It's the number of the devil. It's the number of everything that you are fearful of. Pass your credit card here and we'll donate to the church because I want you to survive. Follow me because I will lead you to the pearly gates. You know what? I make lighthearted of this, but I have witnessed this firsthand.
I as well.
Firsthand. And if you think you're going to buy your way to heaven, think again.
Yeah. Think again.
Money is not there.
Has
It is
nothing to
not
do
there.
with money.
It's just like um, uh, God, I'm not going to say her name, but her first name, because I will probably murder it. Her last name is Batista. She lives in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And she told me, she says, I was raised as a Catholic. I went to all the Catholic schools, and I always felt like there was something not right. And she says, now that I've been reading your stuff or watching Critical Break and listening to your videos and stuff, she says, my God, this is what I was feeling. This is what I feel that wasn't right. You've been explaining it. She says, and God could very likely be DNA. And yeah, I told Paul over in Scotland, I says, go outside and get you a handful of dirt, just a handful of dirt. And guess what? You've got your DNA in that dirt. You've got the DNA of somebody living over in China, Germany, the United States. Because the four building blocks of DNA is in everything we see. Everything. To include synthetic plastics and styrofoam, um, water. So, I made a comment here several months ago. How can I see God? How can I talk to God? I want to talk to God and pray to Him. Well, pray to Him. But you want to see God? Go out your window. Look at the forest. Look at the trees. Listen to the birds. Feel the wind across your face. Look at the water. Pick up the water. Guess what? You're picking up God. Because nature, Mother Gaia, ever how y'all want, we call it Gaia, Mother Earth. How many people know that Earth is a living entity? How many? I I don't think too many. Least of all the flat earthers.
You know, my stance, the House of El, the Anunnakene stance. The bloodlines are important for just a few reasons. It's important for Sir Edward and myself to prove indeed who we actually are, incarnate. But what really matters, absolutely 100%, is not your biosuits, not according to my internal. It's about your souls. It's not about M's on your hands. It's about your souls, your heart-based souls. And believe that there are beings on this planet that do not have heart-based souls. You all matter a great deal. Whether you have M's, whether you're an AB, whether you're an O, it doesn't matter. What matters is what's inside of you, because you are all pieces of the goddess. It's not about the biosuit. I just want to make that really clear.
Absolutely.
That's my stance about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could not be said any better. That is true.
Yeah.
That is, boy, you knocked it out of the ballpark on that one.
Thank you. But yeah, we were going to talk more about the bloodlines and um, some revelations that I had just this morning. Just tying pieces together of past lives, tying pieces together of my current life, and how destiny and history have a funny way of kicking us right in the ass when we least expect it. Sir Edward, I'm sure, can relate.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my spanking. I asked you yesterday, and you didn't give me a liable answer, which is, well, that's kind of
Yeah, I told
got a
him I
big
knew a
question mark over
Pleiadian
my
that
head.
needed a spanking.
Yeah. So do I need to wear 2 or 3 pairs of pants so I don't feel too much? Are you going to use a whip or chains or a paddle? Or what's it going to be? you know, we do laugh a lot, and that's great medicine.
Yeah,
And but it's a serious point to
yeah,
people.
it is.
Um,
Definitely.
Laughter is the best medicine,
Yeah, it is.
and I try to ride that pony every day. Sometimes I see things that just mm, it's like hot sauce. I love Louisiana hot sauce. I don't know about y'all. I don't like Tabasco hot sauce. I want to taste it and feel the spice inside of me. I don't want to be burning up constantly and can't enjoy whatever I put the Tabasco on, which I don't use. It's no different than the truth, the things of who you are, and what you want to be. Because the truth sometimes can be very, very hot. And it's also contested. And I've learned over the years the ones that cry the loudest and cry the most harshest is the religious sects because of what they've been taught. I'm not here to change anybody's religious beliefs, but I like to stand by one of my parables. Everybody wants to know the truth until somebody presents it or speaks it. And not only presents it, but shows the viable, undisputed facts. Um, the bloodline is very important. We find out from our ancestors, we find out from the many ancient scripts, scrolls, plates, tablets, that the human species was an extension of the creators. I've talked about who the creators are. We don't have to go over that again. But the creators was creating a much higher and vibrant species than themselves. How can I prove that? Well, the Bible. The Bible again. Look at John chapter 10. I think it's verse 34, 35, 36, and 37. For it says, Ye are gods. And if well, who is he? We'll discuss that in a minute. If he says ye are gods, then ye are gods, for scripture cannot be broken. Maybe we've got some fine person sitting over here saying, I'm the vicar of God. I speak exactly for God. Really? What do you do? What do you do? Promote you? You used to be a janitor. Uh, well, we can't tell the people the whole truth because I'll be out of a job. Well, that might be a good thing. We're all created equal, but some of us got sidetracked. Some of us got detoured on a side spur. We got off the main line. And that's where we're talking about the royal bloodline, the ones who do have the mark, the ones that feel that they're special, that they're a greater purpose in life. They don't know what it is yet. You know, with that said, religion has taken everything that was good and destroyed it. So you would not know the truth. And I mean, if I'm wrong on that, somebody speak up, tell me. I don't think I am, though. You look at society today, somebody comes out with something so radical, so preposterous. And the first thing that the human analogy or concept wants to do is persecute that that person or try to slander them, or some cases go out and kill them. And this is a fact. It has happened in the past. It probably continue to happen in the future. But where did he get these radical ideas? Where did this radical information come from? Well, again, it's in the Bible. Well, I'm a Christian and I've never read that in the Bible. Well, that's because that's the only tool that you have been given. If it's in the Bible, it's got to be 100% accurate. If you don't belong to my church, you're going to hell. My God can beat up your God. Just remember that. This is a scenario that we see today playing out around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got somebody like D or myself and others come out and say, well, we might look human, but we're not human. I've lived past lives. I have been this person. I've been that person. I have witnessed much in my life. And then you'll hear the little whispers from the far left field. He's crazy as a sprayed roach. Run, hide. He's demonic. I told you people months ago, look up the definition of demon. It doesn't mean some little horny bastard running around with his horns, got a pitchfork. Demon is a sacred being, an angel of light, a messenger sent from God.
That's true.
As a child, I studied the Bible. And as a child, I was visited constantly from various ministers, including the Catholic Church, the Mormons, Baptists, Methodists, Protestant, Lutherans. I mean, the list is about 2 miles long. And all the government doctors that would ask me these things and ask the Colemans, the people that raised me, has he showed any strange signs lately? I wouldn't know for another 30 years about these strange signs because they had them all documented. It's in the book. You guys, most of you have read it. But I never pulled no punches with these ministers or these doctors as a child. Leave them guessing. And I did. But now I'm a grown adult. And I still have a childlike heart. I'm a grown adult. And I do have a very vivid imagination. Now, with that said, don't come out at the woodwork. I told you he was crazy. Told you. When I say I got a vivid imagination, I do dream. I do listen to my spirit guide. And with that vivid imagination, my spirit guide says, what are you desiring, Abil? I'm desiring people to know who they are. I want people to realize that they are much greater than they are giving them own selves credit for. And there's people like me and others. They're out there that have came back here voluntarily. I need to check my contract, by the way, see where I'm not sure where it's at. Anyway, a little inside joke there. People need to know exactly who they are. Where did they come from? And there will be some that says, who gives a rat's butt? I am who I am. Well, we are who we are too. But times are short. And now things are starting to happen, especially after last night. Hang on to your seats.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of a traumatic event to rattle people's cages. You may have to, like me and Dee, yeah, she's going to spank me because I need it. That's an inside joke. And she knows she's not going to spank me. She knows I'd probably like it too much. But
Yeah.
sometimes you have to have a good spanking, a good smack across the butt to wake you up to say, listen, You've been lied to. You're a much better person than what they want you to believe. You're a much greater person than they want you to think.
That's what I've been trying to tell everybody.
This this is the priority where people, they don't want to listen, and in some cases they're refusing to listen, and in just a small percentage of the, I'm going to say it like I generally say it, the brain dead people are the ones that are coming out that will make, oh, this is nonsense. Oh, he's a fraud. He's a liar. He's a soothsayer. Run. You know what? Them are the people I'm not going to waste my time on oh God, a small amoeba-sized portion of people that want to do that crap. There's bigger fish out there, and people, you are the fish. Be a whale, be a whale shark, be a megalodon among the masses. Command attention, command yourself, because you are special. But there is them small ones that will always be there. Don't worry about what the left field says. What is your heart telling you? That's the big question you need to be asking. And
You want to know
the
why?
miss.
I can tell you why they run or try to discredit or things like that. I can tell you precisely why. It's because they're scared. Because the real work that they have to do to discover who they truly are is
Mm-hmm.
more than they could possibly ever do. And they know it.
Boy, oh boy, I can see right now this is going to be a contest today. You've knocked it out of the park again. You're right.
It is what it is.
You're truly 100% correct.
It's frustrating for us because my goal is save them all. Even though Adonai and Gabriel have told me over and over again, you can't save them all.
Yeah, that is true. We'll not save them all, but we're going to save as many as we can.
Yeah.
And those who already know that you've been chosen, and there is some probably watching this right now that's been chosen and they don't even know it. But listen to what your heart's saying. Is your heart kind of lightening up? Do you feel something? Do you sense something? You don't know what it is. Well, if you're feeling something and sensing something and you can't put your finger on it, blessed be those who have found out the truth about God. Ye be gods, for scripture cannot be broken. You know, religion can take away from you and hide it from you, but it'll never be broken. Because, for one, and I call it the God gene, that little God soul that sits between your eyeballs that everybody has, including birds, dogs, you name it, it's going to talk to you. Nobody can steal that from you. Nobody can steal your inheritance from you. And when the time comes, things that you have been told over the years does not exist, then you're going to see that they do exist. And then you're going to be taken out of here. And then there's going to be a complete rebooting. I'm kind of excited about it. How about you?
It needs to happen. There's a reason why we incarnate when we do, and the roles that we have been given, the roles that we have to do, are not easy ones.
No, they're not easy ones.
And what many are not aware of is we might be in biosuits, but I know for a fact my actual soul is quite different than the humans on this planet.
Yeah, I will agree. And it's just like last night, somebody shot a picture to me, said, "Is this you, brother?" I've let people know before, I don't take very good pictures. I don't. But no, about 4 years ago, I was visiting my brother out in Nevada, and I like to joke about it. I said, "Yeah, somebody took a picture of me taking a pee in my true form." Well, I often wonder, what is that person thinking right now? What is that person really realizing that he was witness to something? I don't try to hide myself. I don't try to hide my past. Again, I am who I am. So, my big question to everybody, why are you trying to hide from your past? Be who you are. Ye are gods. Um, be that special being. These times are getting to get real nasty. Real nasty. Matter of fact, they're already getting nasty. I'm going to have a little fun with this, and I'm sure my sister's going to have a little fun. Our paths may be a little bit different. She's going to save as many as, well, she's got her hand out, people. I encourage everybody to grasp a hold of it. My hand's out also, and many have grasped my hand. But eventually, my hand will be drawn back, and, well, those who like to proclaim to be the vicar of Christ, well, we're going to pay you a house call. It's not there for banana pudding, by the way, either.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked yourself, sister, that how many people that you talk to or send you emails, text messages, or whatever it could be, truly know that they lived a past life one time or another? I wonder how many out there truly know that. And if they do know that, how many are willing to talk about it? There is the question.
Yeah. Very few realize that because they've been lied to.
So, on the bloodline, the royal bloodline, and I will say the royal bloodline, and those with the O negative, with the RH factor, how many out there, I bet, D, know what RH stands for?
You should tell them.
Because that's the first key thing. Yeah, that's the first key to understanding the genealogy and the bloodline. No, the RH does not stand for Rhesus monkey, as well. Some of the Darwinisms, the religious right wants you to believe. But I will tell people RH stands for rhodium. 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 And it is only found in one blood type, O negative. And many of those who have the O negative do have the mark that we, well, I call it the mark of Cain. Go ahead and tell the people who Abel's mother most likely was.
Well,
And
we were
maybe they'll,
speaking this morning because I had some huge, because I've been trying to come to terms with who I am. Because I'm being told who I am by Gabriel and Adonai.
mm-hmm.
There's far too many, plus, I have these weird bits and pieces of my memory, speaking other languages,
Mm-hmm.
other lifetimes, bits and pieces, nothing solid, unfortunately. Where I could, the only one that I can really put some pieces together on was the most recent prior to this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, based on what we were talking about this morning, you were speaking about Lilith being your mother.
My mother?
Abiel's. Abiel, right?
Yeah, Abiel.
Hmm?
Lilith being my mother? Oh no. It is very, very likely, although we can't find 100% evidence on it, we do have highly credible evidence that says that Lilith, who was known, and she's mentioned in the Bible, only in one place, it's in Isaiah, I believe it is. I'm not sure where in Isaiah. But Lilith, most likely, was the mother of Abel. So, with Cain being the firstborn, the true firstborn of purity, of a higher species, and he sees this evil, wicked one. Well, now you know probably most likely why he killed his brother. Thou shalt not kill, right? Well, look at it this way. If somebody breaks in your home, they're coming there for no good to rob you, kill you, or whatever it might be. And you are justified by state and federal and local laws in 99% of the time to, well, stop that person at all means. Justifiable homicide. Well, let's go back, well, let's just say 212,000 years, give or take a few here or there. And Cain saw somebody break into his home, and this person was not there to be nice. So Cain did the only thing that he knew what to do in that person's breathing apparatus. How he killed him, I don't know. I wasn't there at the time. But the biblical scripture, the book of Enoch, many ancient teachings talk about the serpents that were in the garden at the time. They also talk about the Anunnaki, the warrior clan, warrior race that had been assigned by the Federation to protect and oversee the new creation. Now, thou shalt not kill, so is one of the commandments. Love everyone equally. If that person is equal to you in your bloodstream, yes, you love them. You call them your sister, you call them your brother. You do not have any animosity to take them out of this world. So, thou shalt not kill. Cain immediately broke one of the sacred commandments. Yet, he wasn't punished, but the Bible wants you to believe he was punished. And he was sent to the far east. He was already living in the east, but he was sent further east. And they would eventually one day settle and name their great culture behind a great patriarch who was telling this same story that I'm telling you, that my sister Dee is telling you. Now you know why the book of Enoch was taken out of the Bible, because it was too close to the truth. We could be called fallen angels. We could be called demonic spirits. We could be called anything. But does it make it so? Where is your evidence? I want to see the proof. Well, we've been presenting the proof. No, I didn't fall out of a handbasket. Uh, we did come down here thousands of years ago, and we're here again for these final days. But Cain was given the mark from the creators, the mark of Cain. It doesn't say where that mark was placed. Was it placed on his forehead, his arm? Did he get a tattoo on his butt? We don't know. But it's awfully coincidental, and I don't believe in coincidence, by the way, that probably somewhere in a very good calculated range that over 80% of the RH O negative bloodlines all have that on your hands. It's like a butterfly, right, Amy? That butterfly will continue to fly. Now, if you don't have the M, you're not an O negative, doesn't mean you're a lesser person. Now, that's where the rubber meets the road. That is where the science really gets complicated. You have to understand some of the medical background, some of the medical terminology to show the sacredness of it.
You know where
Lilith,
I got confused?
where?
When we were talking this morning, you put in Abel, and I thought that you missed the I and we're talking about yourself, but you were talking about Abel, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
The ancient Hebrew word and the ancient Sumerian word for angelic or Holy Spirit or the Elohim, which means those who came down, not the fallen ones. Well, we came down, but we didn't fall. We stood on our 2 feet. But the word El, E-L, E-L, if you'll notice, there's a lot of things about E-L. Um, L, L, it's in that book, that dictionary that you ordered and got. But I will tell people L means an angelic messenger, an angelic being, a person sent down. Elohim, those who came down. Boy, the Sumerians were very good, very accurate, very, very knowledgeable. They didn't evolve, they started at the top of the ladder, just like Cain did. And with that said, we go back to John chapter 10 and the verses I gave you earlier. Ye are gods, for scripture cannot be broken. I don't say everybody run out there in the street right now and holler, I am God, you know. No, but you're from a higher form, a higher being with a higher purpose. You may not know what it is, some of you do. And I think my brother said it very well 2,218 years ago, and I'm not going to count the hours, the minutes, or the seconds. Doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but we're not going to go into math on that. And he said, for the truth shall set you free. And there's also something that's preached in many Pentecostal denominations and many churches. They talk about you must be washed in the blood of the Lamb. If I may, sister, I would like to correct that openly and publicly right now.
Yeah, please.
Being washed in the blood of the Lamb goes back to the testament of the royal bloodline, the lineage, the starfire bloodline, as it was known in ancient days. The O negative RH factor. We come back again and we see that there is many things in the Bible that was only described during the times to understand these events, like rib. They took a rib out of Adam and created you, D. Oh my God. They want you to believe that. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither. Genetics came first. To be washed in the blood of the Lamb. How many people know that some of these things originated from DNA structures as we speak today? The LH genetical mitochondrial cells, the LB platoid sugar sequences, the LA chromosomes. DNA is a very hardcore science And in most cases, you have to have a medical book to understand it. And again, I've been fortunate. I've been privy to talk with many of the experts over the years. I have 7 research books here just on the genealogy and the royal bloodline. And it's funny, this royal bloodline is all Caucasian. It's not racist, people. This is science. This is science. Because we can find the testaments going all the way back 170,000 years ago that many of the Nephilim bones that have been discovered, many of the ancient tribes of Armenia, southern Europe, parts of Crimea, all the way over into, well, even the genealogy in Siberia and North America. All the bloodline DNA structures are all one in the same. They came from one branch of the genetic tree of life. And not one time have we found anything from that genetical tree of life that says otherwise. Again, medically and scientifically, and in many cases, scriptural, proven. You have to ask yourself this. This is coming out from right field. I don't want to go over to left field because, well, you know who's over there, the little amoebas. Let's go over to right field. With the many documented and testimonial cases of abductions in some people's terminology, I challenge everyone that's watching this today, just show me the evidence, not somebody's hearsay or somebody's fanatical claim. Show me the evidence of any Arab or black person ever being abducted. There's only one documented case. That's Barney and Betty Hill. The
No,
only
there's
one that
another.
you will.
There's another that I know of. Barry Littleton.
Who?
Barry Littleton.
Is it in any government files?
I'm not sure.
There you go. There's your answer.
He does describe the same beings I've had experience with.
And to say that, I have over the years, and I've told people, I've talked at several black churches about this. It's a very highly spirited conversation. But when people see the evidence, wow. And I'm talking about black people. Where did the genetic markers take that sidetrack? Again, I have no animosity against black people, Arab people, or whoever. I just have an animosity and a very sickening feeling in my heart for people that harm others or those who have lied to others just for political or monetary gain. Things will change. Oh, they're going to change. But I've been doing this for over 30 years, maybe 40. I've been doing it all my life. Let's just be honest. I had a very strange childhood. But my childhood was not deprived of the necessities of things that I needed as a child because things were already provided for me when I was a child. One, to remember who I was. Two, to remember who my father and mother was. Three, to remember that my past life, you're bringing that knowledge with you. Use it wisely. And I guess four, we got a list, a laundry list, 4 miles long if we want to. But four is the many ministers that came and sat with me for hours as a child growing up, and the doctors that looked at me as I was growing up, just to see if they could find out that, well, this child's got a vivid imagination. Could he be right? did he get this imagination? It's not an imagination. I lived it before. And when they find out, oh shit, he did live it before. We're finding evidence. How did this child know this? This child can't read these dictionaries. This child can't understand these medical terminologies. This child can't understand this language. How is he capable of speaking it so fluently? Well, again, hey, doc, like your white coat. Thanks for the uh, lollipop or the candy bar. But I told you, I lived it before. Leave the docs stunned. Leave them scratching their heads. Those who hear my words, I did not come to judge, for there is somebody else that will do that. But those who have heard my words, trust and believeth, and have faith, shall inherit the kingdom of God. My brother said that. My brother may be watching this right now, D. You never know. He's kind of sneaky when he wants to be.
I know Gabriel and Ed and I are both here, so they're definitely watching.
Well, there's nobody here with me except you and the good people that are listening to this.
Yeah. You know, this morning, Gabriel led me to some things. You know, I've been working on the regression. We talked about it. One of the things,
Yeah.
I did contact one person about doing the regression, and they said they would not videotape the regression due to ethical reasons. And I've told the people that follow me that I'm sharing everything with them. Everything. Doesn't matter good, bad, ugly, whether it makes me look stupid, foolish, it doesn't matter because the truth is the truth. And so I want to share that regression with them. What is your take on a hypnotherapist that won't videotape? Because my first question is why? Why would it be unethical?
Well, as I told you, it's in the book. When Giles regressed me for the very first time in 1984, I was in college at the time. I mean, between semesters, I was back at Langley. I was either in the field or I was there at the farm, as we called it, our place of study and work. When Giles regressed me for the first time, they wanted to know what happened in Vietnam. The big mystery had to be uncovered. It was under clinical research. I mean, I had an EKG, an EEG, and it was recorded and filmed. This is a testimony. So when you are regressed, you can go back and see what you were saying. Because when you are hypnotized, you are placed under a very serious relaxation period where your mind is elevated, but your body is lowered. It's lowered to enough to keep you sustained. In other words, breathing and your heart pumping and everything. And in some cases, some of us, and everybody is going to be different. If that's ever had a regression, sometimes your heartbeat really drops. That they're really scared. Oh crap! Do we need to bring him out? No, 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 no. Let's see what we can find. When these things come out, you have no conscious, no subconscious mentally of what's taking place or what you're saying. But when you come back to your capacity, your full capacity, your conscience of the time, then you look around, you ask, where have I been? I thought we were going to regress because you don't know how long you've been regressed. With Giles, he wouldn't keep me under no more than an hour and a half if that was that long. But there was hours and hours and hours of film footage of my regressions. And some of it, you guys have seen some of it. When a hypnotherapist, a psychologist, or whoever is going to do it and refuses to film it, where is the evidence? Again, where is the evidence that it's unethical? Every hypnotherapist that I've ever talked to wanted to record it. That was the first thing. Can I have your permission to record this? Well, if you're going to regress me, I would suspect you to record it.
Yeah,
And when I
because you
say
want to
record
make
it, that
sure they're
means
not planting stuff in your head too, because that's real important to
exactly.
me. I don't want somebody planting things for reasons of fame or gain. So I want it video recorded so I can prove they didn't do that to me.
Exactly. It is a standard within the hypnotherapy community that it must be recorded for documentation, especially for those who charge an arm and a leg to do it. You want to see what you was talking about, because when you come back and wake up, you're not going to know what you was talking about unless they planted some type of bullcrap in your head to say, which can be done. But a true hypnotherapist is going to do it under laboratory conditions. They're going to monitor your heart, they're going to monitor your brain waves, they're also going to film it or record it, as I call it. That is a no brainer.
Okay. So don't bother contacting that one again, correct?
Oh, I bet she'll take your money, though, won't she?
Yeah. So I've been working on that regression on my own, plus a lot of other things like things to do with Carrie Elison and 396 hertz and some other things. But this morning, Gabriel had led me to, because I was preparing to do our stream together, and I wanted to look over the Curse of Canaan. And, well, I found a lot more than I was expecting. You know, Gabriel Ned and I have told me who I am over and over again. I've been struggling with that because anybody in their right mind would struggle with information like that, right?
Well, it is a big pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
But those who are truly blessed are just that. They're truly blessed. It's a hunger, and many are out there hungry. People, I've got a lot of food. I mean, I've got a lot of food. Uh, you're more than welcome. Join us. We're going to have a feast here. I mean, and of course, I just use that as an analogy or a metaphor or one of my little crazy little parables I pull out of right field. Those who are hungry, come join us. There's nothing demonic about it. Remember, and I will probably say this several more times before we're done today, ye are gods. Just don't be going out there turning people into toads.
Yeah, one other point, just a quick point that I forgot to make earlier. Many of you, your biosuits are not purely Pleiadian or purely Anunnakene. There are a mix of that plus some other ET races have gotten thrown into the mix over the millennium. So, just so that
Yep.
you all know that it's very unlikely that many of you are of any pure race in your biosuits. All right. I just want to make that clear. Um, yeah, this morning, um, I got information.
Yeah.
And when I was talking with Sir Edward, I was speaking with someone else that I talk to frequently about a lot of what's going on with me in particular. But this morning, the information I got was about our bloodlines. And you know, the synchronicity and things that have happened in my life, it's like history is repeating itself, um, including names of people surrounding me. Um, the thing that came up this morning, let me see if I can pull that up. I want to do a share screen because I want to show this. I think, did I give you the link this morning? I think I did.
On what?
Where we were talking about the bloodlines.
I
The
think you
marriage of
told
in,
me about it.
huh?
Yeah, you shared some of that with me.
Yeah. And
I'm trying to find
yeah, there's a lot
for you.
to it. And yes, I have, my bloodline goes back to some of the people in this right here. Um, I'll do a share screen so that Sir Edward can see what I've got pulled up too. No, it's down here. Okay. I'm going to do a share screen, Sir Edward, so you can look at what I'm seeing too, okay? Okay. So I was looking this over because I was preparing for the stream, and yeah, a lot of things came up as I was looking because it talks about the tribe of Dan. Now, me particularly, based on what I know, is that I'm tribe of Asher. It also talks about Lucifer being the spiritual brother of Jesus. That's one revelation. The other thing is, and that's correct, the other thing is, and that they would both likely be born inside that bloodline again. But the thing that really stood out to me this morning is I started looking at Lilith and Anna, and the person that authored this is Peter R. Farley. He's correct about a lot here, but he's got the wrong people as far as who's incarnate right now. It says, if we take a look back at the various entities involved with the whole puzzle surrounding Jesus and the different bloodlines, only one significant person remains to whom we have paid little or no attention. Neither have we found out any more about her beyond what the Bible says until now. That person is James the Just, wife, Mary Magdalene's sister, Jesus's sister-in-law, Martha. And I broke down in tears this morning, speaking with both Sir Edward and Sir Jay, because this is just more confirmation about who I am. I have a sister-in-law. Her name is Martha. And she has been a very odd thorn in my life. She literally hated me. And I couldn't understand why. And after I had my daughter, my here's something else that's going to blow people's minds. My husband's name was David. Many of you will understand what that means. He died at the age of 33. Many of you will understand what that means as well. My sister-in-law's name is Martha. And it says Joseph's marriage to Martha, the Magdalene's sister, and the sister-in-law of Jesus produced 4 children, 3 boys and a girl, all of whom later married, helping spread the royal Davidic, David, my husband David, bloodline of their father, and also the bloodline of Lucifer. Wake up, people. Shit's gonna hit the fan on this planet. Because people have been screaming, oh, the end times are here for a long time. But I'm telling you the truth. It's here now. Also, it talks about, there's a lot in this, but it talks about the spiritual hierarchy. Martha was integrated into this entire process because she was a high initiated in the dark side of the esoteric arts. She was directly related to the Anunnaki. She had within her knowledge of sacred alignments and geometry. In her past incarnations and throughout this entire process, she has been that being known as Lilith, my sister-in-law, the one that hates me. She came into my hospital room after I had my daughter and told me the reason she hated me is because I had the first child. And there's a lot more to that. A lot more that's occurred over the years. I'm still coming to terms with who it is that I am, with the mark of the goddess in my hand. And yeah, I was in tears today because this brings up a whole can of worms. Anyway, go back to Sir Edward and let him talk about that.
LIT. How come I can't find it? Well, I can't find it there, but I sure know where the other is. Yeah. The archon spirits and fallen angels. Can you see that?
Yeah.
One of my many research books.
Don't freak out. I'm just turning my camera off for a moment.
Now let me get right over here. L. Danielle. Danielle. Are you all right, sister?
I'm fine.
Now, I want people to see this. This is some of my work. Can you see that there, D?
Yeah.
See where it says the Trinity?
Yeah. The unholy Trinity.
Well, shall I read this?
Yes, please.
It's quite long, but shall I pinpoint the parts? The very name Lilith, or Latu, is Hebrew in Jewish mythology and also in Babylonian teachings, translated as the night creature or the night hag. She's mentioned in the Dead Sea Scrolls as the one of the sage. Jewish folklore from 8th and 10th centuries AD, the Ben Sira, Texas, that it says that she was Adam's first wife. Again, Adam means human, man. But if I may, and again, this stuff is quite fascinating. There is an old Sumerian statue that was found in eastern Turkey in 1974, and it's on the internet. You maybe can look at it. It'll look like that, Lilith. Can you see that?
But isn't that a picture of Inanna?
No.
Okay.
Two different
So
beings.
so that's more of the virus on the planet confusing everybody as to who's who.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let me read you this. It is written in the Bible as Samuel slash Satan fell from the heavens as a lightning, being a flash downwards, and brought the giver of life pain. Now, who's the giver of life? Well, the creators. Malakara, which means in Egyptian, the evil angel or the evil demonstress. The name Mata Babukas being the form of an angra, not angry, but angra, MTHFR, or that of a Lucifer. Well, you have to learn this language again, these words. Lucifer in Greek teachings, and it goes all the way back to Sumerian teachings, the angel of death was known as Hallel. Well, Hallel's got many meanings, and I won't go into all of them, but the one that really is connected is that Hallel was the angel of the morning star. Wait a minute. Didn't Jesus say he was the son of the morning star? He was from the tribe of David? Yes, he did. Read the last few verses in Revelations, at the end of Revelations, about the Alpha and the Omega. Now, with that said, the Lord of the earth was described as a being that came down with other angels, the Elohim, the fallen ones. Yet he carried the black flame of judgment, an individual process of thought and free will to be given to the atom. One way or the other, the defining and expanding of a consciousness, that is in Exodus 7, that magicians who were in them days known as oracles or seers were able to make the power obtained by the black fire. Well, the black fire could be, as they've got right here, as well, knowledge. The book of Enoch talks about this. There was various fallen angels that brought how to fashion metal, jewelry, women, paint your eyebrows, put your hair up. Yet the head of the knowledge described in many of these sections also described the queen of the demons, the queen of everything that is wicked, came from a one that was known as the Luciferian goddess. Her name was Lilith. So when we get with Lucifer, Lilith, and Abel, we come to what they call an unholy trinity. Now, gotta think a little bit here. How come this Abel's name's mentioned in this ancient teachings, this ancient text, the ancient mystery schools? Well, just possibly that Abel was born by Lilith. Supposedly, and this comes from ancient Greek teachings, supposedly this being named Lilith died first before tasting the pleasures of sex. Henceforth, she yearned for what she could not have. her amorous embodiment were considered fatal. She was greatly feared. Although the Ardot Lilith, which is Greek again, was often thought to haunt the night, and the connection of the night was most likely established by she was considered to be the demonstress of the night. She hunted men down and she would kill them. Her name is more derived properly from the Sumerians' word of Lilel, meaning the one of the storm. To take respect, she fits very nicely into traditional Sumerian demonology, where many demons were associated with destructive forces as the storms, earthquakes, diseases. They stated very directly that the evils was from the Arga, and it goes on, and this is Sumerian, I'm going to speak it very openly. Artag Tiela Simaga Naria Hingma. And that means the angel of the destruction who came down. Sounds like the fallen angels, correct? Well, Enoch said it was. Lilith was also associated with the owls and other wild beasts of the night. That can be found in Isaiah 34:14. She was noted as a screech owl. Yes, the King James Bible calls it a night monster, but the Epic of Gilgamesh, who was a Anunnaki giant, he wanted to find the secrets of eternal life. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, he called her a beast of dragon proportions. You can probably find that on the internet, I'm sure. You can find everything else on there, right? It says also that Lilith had been curled around a tree and said to tear many houses down and flee into the wilderness after her dastardly deeds had been done. Many ancient passages talk about her. Now, with that said, she appeared as an owl. Well, let's go back to abductions again. Alien abductions.
Yeah, people speak about seeing the owl. I have
Yeah.
not. I have not that I'm aware of. The beings I've had contact with, nothing like that.
She was also known as the Shemahara, which is Arabic, means the evil. Boy, I'm probably going to screw this up. Let's see, Shihama, Shil Elam Hama, which means the demonstress owl, or the night monster. And that comes from Aramaic teachings, mainly Eastern Turkey.
You know, they've done their damnedest to make Inanna look like her, or confuse people and make them think that's Inanna, and it's not.
No. Lucifer is a name that was placed in the Bible by the Catholic Church. Now, we could be having Ross watching this live feed right now. Ross, I'm going to use you for an example here. We all know Ross as Ross, Ross. But what if somewhere down the road we just change Ross's name to Ross again? Now, we all know him as Ross, am I correct? But let's just say somebody 30, 40, 50 years that may want to see what we were talking about on this day, and I mentioned Rossigan. Who is Rossigan? Can't find no record about Ross, but they can find the mention of Rossigan because somebody's talking about it. Change these names or change the meaning or the wordage just one little place, and it throws the whole concept out of whack. Hell, This day and time, me and Dee, we're talking. But 40 years in the future, somebody comes across and tries to make some kind of documentation on what we were talking about. Yeah, Deborah and um, Sir Michael were discussing this. Well, who's Deborah? Who's Sir Michael? They may not know. Again, just an analogy. For example, I know you as Deanna or Dee. You know me as, well, a Bill. That's because of this day and time. Purposely changed to throw away the truth so people in the future will not find it out. That is an example. But when we see the hardcore evidence, and me being an archaeologist, I mean, I've read many historical things over the years. I've studied, I've looked at them, I've got to see them firsthand in many cases. But I learned in school years ago, to get to the truth, you need to go to the time period that is closest to the truth. Look at the documentation of the people that witnessed it, if it's available. If not, get to the source that is closest to what you're looking for. Don't take Tom, Dick, or Harry's. Well, it's 1,000 years in the future, and I don't know who this Hallel is. I can't even spell this Hallel, but he was the morning star, so we'll just call him, well, the Greeks called Lasar. Lasar meant the morning brightness. La in Latin means star, so Lasar. I don't know, who's going in 100 years from now is going to learn Latin, know what it means. So let's just call it Lucifer. We'll change that just purposely. These are, again, just examples, things that have been taken away from the people to know who they are. Now, Lilith, Labat, the night owl, the demonistress, a fallen entity. I've always said the serpent in the garden was a draconian. Why did they call her the demonistress dragon or the serpent? This serpent flew, this serpent screeched, this serpent lied to everybody. And this is where the War of the Heavens that came out. That ego, pride, and the lack of love and understanding and truth were denied. So she gives birth by the Adam. Well, again, learn these words, these ancient words. The Adam was human, just like Israel means people. But they were purposely changed so, well, the rest of them won't know the truth or the facts. Remember, ye are gods. If they ever find out how special they are, we're doomed. Well, you know what? You're already doomed. Those who are asking and those who are searching, well, you have been chosen. I don't want to see nobody die. How about you, Dee?
No.
But unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. The bloodline was sacred. The bloodline was royal. The bloodline was given from the creators. And the creators are mentioned in the Sumerians' kings list, the ancient mythologies of Greece, because it just was passed down by oral tradition from one generation to the next. Just like the sacred royal O negative bloodline with the RH factors. The more you taint it, the least powerful it becomes. That's why it says in the Bible, do not intermingle, do not take foreign wives. Preserve your heritage, preserve your lineage. Well, I wasn't around when all that crap took place. But I am here now in the flesh and blood. I have incarnated here again in the flesh and blood. I don't have time to play games with people. I'm not going to play games. I will laugh with you and I'll sing with you, but I'm not going to play no games. Just like my sister sitting across from me is not going to play no games. But we came out of the love and concernment within our own species to put a hand out and say, follow me, please. It will save your life. These ancient teachings are still can be found. How true they are, again, what is that God gene telling you? What is your heart telling you? This is not religious 101. This is the facts. And the royal bloodline, the mark of Cain, is noted in many, many ancient texts.
So Lilith is the unholy trinity. That makes me the Holy Trinity, part of that Holy Trinity.
Oh, I love this little thing, this little play thing I've got right here. Boom, there we go.
Where did you get that? Is that what did you do?
There we go. And it
Oh, how
puts a
cute.
smile and makes me laugh because it is true. It is true. We go back again to the book of John. The very first chapter of John, it says, oh, I don't want to make.
You know St. John's
May I
incarnate,
read
right?
it?
St.
Huh?
John is incarnate right now.
No, I can tell you.
I know him.
John was also Jesus's most beloved disciple too. Did you know that?
Yes, I know.
It says here, this is in the Bible, and I have a Greek Bible, but you can look it up in your King James or whatever, your NIV. But this is what it says: the Word became flesh. I think that's what we're trying to do right here. It says, in the beginning, the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And He was with God in the beginning. Through Him, all things were made without Him, and nothing was made that had not been made. And in Him was that life from the light of man. Light of man. Well, maybe the people who are watching this, maybe you are the sons and daughters of the morning star. Uh, the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness had not understand. Now, if we go down there a little bit, it talks about the God gene that I talk about. In fact, it's verse 9. And the true light that gave him light was given to every man coming into the world. Now, who got that light? Well, let me read you about you people. You people are mentioned right here in this Bible verse. How many know that, D? If we go down here to verse 12 and 13, and I'm reading it verbatim, let all, not just men, as religion wants you to believe, but all that who receives him, and to those who believe in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God. And those children were born of natural descent. No, those children were born not of a natural descent, not of human decision or a husband's will, but were born from God. I have that mark right there, people. Look it up. Again, I openly tell people, the ministers, they are shocked when they ask me, what church do you belong to? I don't belong to no church. I belong to life. That's my church. Well, you believe in, you're a Christian, ain't you? No, I'm not a Christian. Oh my God, crucify him, get away from him. I am who I am. I serve only one Father. I serve with love and compassion for one Father. The Father that gave me my breath, that gave me the eyesight, that allowed me to come back here multiple times to do exactly what me and my sister Dee are doing right now. Although we're from different tribes, D is no different than I am. D is no lesser than a person than I am, and vice versa. Just like the people that are watching this, you are not on the lower rung of the ladder. You're not above us. You're not below us. We're all in this basket together. And that's, I can't say it any better. I can't say one thing. I better have my damn banana pudding here in a few weeks. I'm going to be a real nasty demon. But
You
with
know, I
that
want to
said,
thank you because you're one of the first people that really it dawned on you. You knew instinctively that I was who Gabriel was saying. And I want to thank you for
yes,
that.
yes, you're welcome. I mean, I've told people over the years, and yeah, I've got some quirky sayings, I've got some quirky parables, but my brother, Uriel, Joshua, Emmanuel, Daniel, he had some of the most beautiful sayings himself. And some people might say, well, that's quirky or that's stupid, but no, they wasn't. When I say to people, when next time you look in that mirror, see what is looking back. Be amazed at what's looking back. I don't care if you've got one tooth in your head or you're wearing an eye patch, if you weigh 9 pounds or you weigh 900 pounds. See what is looking back, because what is looking back is exactly what I just got through reading right there out of that Bible. You are special. Ye are gods. You are an extension of the federation, the civilizations from the stars, the people that created the human species. Ye are gods. Hey, the Sumerians, the children that were being born, looked at them as gods. They called them Ilama. Ilama means Eli. Eli means in Sumerian father. Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up because it can't be made up because it's the facts. It's right there staring you in the face, just like you're looking in that mirror. Be proud of who you are. Love thyself before you can love anybody else, because until you start respecting yourself and loving yourself from your heart, how in the hell can you go out and say, you know what, sister or brother, I love you? Did you hear what that crazy son of a bitch just said? That is what's wrong with society today, the backbiting,
Yeah.
the stabbing. Yet, hey, brother, hey, sister, boy, let me tell you something. Thank you for all that you do for me. I truly love you. What can I do for you today? Now, I never did ask for any monetary gain. Yeah, maybe I'm asking for some banana pudding, but that's irrelevant. You
Banana
can't
pudding.
make this stuff up, but the banana pudding's going to happen. I've been
I told him
assured.
that there'd probably be 6 different versions of banana pudding, and he said he was going to sample every one of them. That's hilarious.
It goes back again. It goes back again, D. And I know you've had these experiences, but I've let people know that I don't come looking for you. I'm not going to knock on your door. I'm not going to beg you. You need to hear what I got to say. Let me show you what I got. I don't do that. And I'm batting 1,000 on it. I've never done it and never will. I have people come to me because they are hungry. They are thirsty. They are starving. So do I turn them away? These ministers that come to me, God, I couldn't wait to get out of there. Did you feel that presence? I don't know what it was. I ain't never coming back. And 4, 5, 6 months later, maybe a year, hey, Mr. Page, can I come in and sit and talk with you again? Sure. You bring me a Dr. Pepper? That is my offering plate. But I give freely. I've always given freely. My sisters and my brothers give freely. We don't expect nothing in return. And most of the time, the people do bring a little gift. Even something as simple as a 2 liter of Dr. Pepper. It's respect because they're hungry. They want to be fed. And I'm going to be talking at a church over here in Westmoreland, Tennessee, here probably in less than 2 weeks. And what will I say to these people? Most of them have never heard of me. Who is this man? And I've talked at the black churches. I've talked at many churches over the years. I didn't ask them, they asked me. And why? Just maybe what I'm telling you right now. Something up here, that God gene, something they're feeling in their heart is saying and screaming out, this man's got a buffet. I wonder if he'll let us eat from it. Yeah, my buffet, my feast is open to everybody. Are you willing to come and sit down and break bread with me? You know, that's the big question. Do you want it? Because it's there. And whether you want it or not, the truth will never, ever be destroyed. It could be hidden as it has been, but it will never be destroyed. And there's a few people that will come out like Dee or myself or Michael or Daniel or whoever and not only give you the truth and show it to you, but we offer it to you free of charge. Oh, you didn't tell them about the PayPal account we're going to open up here soon, did you, Dee? I didn't mention it to you either, I see.
I've actually
Well,
got one,
Roy
but
D.
I
Mercer,
never say anything on my stream about it.
Roy D. Mercer also suggested this, so I want to throw it your way and you let me know. But Roy D. Mercer said we need to open up a PayPal so we can start buying stock into Dole Pineapple. He sees the stocks getting ready to climb. That's good company. When we can laugh about something as serious as this,
Yeah.
that means we're even closer to the people than they really realize. And I mean, I love people. I love people. I truly love people. I have a compassion. My father just told me here recently, he's proud that I found compassion. I've always had compassion, but I've wore it on my sleeve. I didn't want to show it because, after all, my history speaks of something much more sinister and much more darker. You know, the light took over the darkness, but there'll never be light unless there is darkness. It's yin and yang. And maybe the people also realize, especially where the female components are all connected, many of the churches, especially the Catholics, women are viewed as second class citizens. Women are not allowed to teach men. Women are not allowed to speak out openly in the church. And that is true in a lot of the Pentecostal churches and Baptist churches and Assembly Gods. You know, if you, we'll let this woman be on a board of directors, but we're not going to take her example. Yet, Jesus's wife, the mother of his 4 children, she was viewed by the apostles as the apostle. Not hearsay, historical, documented evidence and facts. It's where your Merovingian kingship comes from. It's where the royal lineage comes from. It's where the royal bloodline, the bloodline of the lost tribes of Yazrael, which meant people, 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 not Jews, people, people, people. You got to understand also, in his me being an archaeologist, I uncovered in my early days. I knew this, but I wanted to see the evidence. You never see any written documents that Jesus carried a Bible. The Bible didn't exist. You find no evidence of anybody being a Baptist or Methodist or Catholicism to include Jewish. Oh, oh God, such blasphemy. I can't believe he's saying that on a directed podcast. Well, I'd say it to the world. I have said it to the world. So where did all these religions come from? Where did the Bible come from? Who is God? Yet I gave you guys last week the evidence of who God is. God is a concept. God is a creation of man's own teachings to control the masses. You've got this fire-breathing God that's going to throw you in a lake of hell if you don't worship him and follow his 10 golden rules. But remember, he loves you. And you know what? With that said, how come the ancient people, your ancestors from the sacred garden of Edom, where the genetics were being created, the children of Cain, the firstborn, the lineage of the people from the various star systems, we call it the Federation, the civilization, making a higher being, a higher standard of a being. All were Caucasian. All were highly educated. All knew who they were. They loved themselves and they loved others. They knew who the fathers was. They knew where they came from. They knew who the mother was. They know where she came from.
Excuse the noise.
And
My
to
son's coming
say,
in.
the genetics have always been there. It's written in Egyptian hieroglyphs. It's written in many ancient teachings that we all came from various tribes. We went through various lineages all the way back to Cain. We're all connected one way or another. I'm not a half breed. I'm a pedigree, just like the rest of some of you are. But those who, well, you know, half breed may sound a little harsh, but it's the only thing I can come up with. Those who are not of the pure lineage or the pure bloodline, or maybe they're not even involved with any type of negative thing. It doesn't make you a lesser person. It doesn't mean you're going to burn in a lake of fire. It doesn't mean that you cannot be saved. Because this story is still evolving some 100,000s of years.
You know, it occurred to me
Look
that...
in that mirror.
Oh.
Yeah, look in that mirror and see what it is.
It occurred to me that excuse me, asthma. What's going on? Huh? In your room.
I'm gonna be seeing some friends.
Okay. Son. It occurred to me that my being incarnate could be a very inconvenient truth.
Are you done streaming?
No. Well, we're in the middle of it now. Sorry. Anyway, you think that's a fairly accurate statement?
Oh, Dee, no, you're not an inconvenient. You're an inconvenient for those who are trying to hide the truth. I've told people these last few months, we all have Judases. I have mine. I toy with them. I find it humorous. If I'm such a liar and a fraud and a misinformation agent or whatever, why do you follow me? Why do you listen to what I say? Why do you have these little seances at 11:11? It goes back again. We laugh. We learn to laugh. We learn to accept and roll with the punches. I am who I am. I've said it before. I am an Imaduraki. I am from the Melchizedek order, because this is what my father created me for. But you know what? My father also created me with compassion. I just haven't showed it over the course of who's counting the years or the centuries. I really don't care. But now it's showtime. The curtain's up, people. I said the train left the station. It's coming to your way soon.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. No, you're not an inconvenience, except for those who deny their own lineage. I want to show you something.
Go check the mail.
Ilana, right? Can you see that?
I do this.
Yeah.
Can you read it? It's in Sumerian. Can you see that right over there?
The lunar
The end
eclipses,
of
yeah.
days.
Yep.
Notice it's kind of old. I believe Zachariah Sitchin put this in one of his books, The Earth Chronicles. I'm not sure, but I will read it. This is the original copy. The original copy. How many want to know what the Sumerian cuneiform right here says? Oh, they don't want to know, D. Yeah, let's
No.
talk
Surely
about.
they don't want to know.
Let me read you this.
MLK Day.
And much of this is broken. But it says astronomical legacies of Mesopotamia will show the knowledge of a phenomenon in a future time to come. References suggest of a Passover that will come.
I'll be back here later.
And then
I'll ask you.
occurs an extraordinary, listen to this, people, it's in black and white here, very highlighted. See the highlight right there? It says, then will occur an extraordinary solar eclipse, not in any unexpected time. And the moon shall be blood red. It'll be caused by unusual close passages. And in the beginning of the solar disk, not in an expected time, and in light will become darkened. And within the stood of the radiance of the great people, and on the 30th of the month, the eclipse of the sun shall happen. And on the 16th of the month, the strangeness of an unexpected and extraordinary occurrence will indicate that those of royalty shall not witness. Wow. Here's an old picture of Luxor. See that?
Yeah.
That's in Egypt, southern Egypt. Luxor. The cross of the horizon. Original. This is old stuff. I mean, this is going back to the early 80s. And this is Zachariah Sitchin's analogy. Marduk, or Adatamra, showed at the time of a supremacy that it came the age of the ram beginning in the heavens with signs. Akhenaten, or Thutmose III, shifted the issues of the celestial time to zodiacal clocks, which be known as a divine time for the divine people, changing the question to when will the unseen celestial gods appear and become visible before the royal people, beautiful on the horizon of the heavens, or Kishamataya Katalata, which means beautiful on the horizon of the heavens. His greatest heresy in the eyes of the priests of Atum-Ra and Amon and Thutmose and Isis should come after judgment by the fact that was erected a special monument erecting upon Ben Babin, which means in Aramaic, thy judge cometh. An object that would reveal generations earlier as a vehicle in which Ra had arrived to earth from the heavens. It is also an indication that we believe that the expecting in connection with Atun Ra in the reappearance, a return not just of the planet of gods, but the arrival of a new age coming as the gods will have chosen to walk among creation. This we must conclude that the innovation, the difference between Akhenaten, Isis, and Atum Ra in defiance of the priestly establishment that would be created in the future is no doubt prematurely in some's opinions. He has announced the coming of a new Masonic time, a new beginning. This hearsay has been created by aggravated teachings of theological deception. Aten also is accompanied by a personal claim that Aten is Greekly referred to himself as the God's prophet, commonly known, listen to this, as Apra Anu, that will come forth upon God's body, and through whom his seed created the species of royal blood. It's right there, people. There is that is a small pyramid that sits in Luxor. I wonder how many understand that one.
See you later. Sorry, I was just saying he's stepping out to go see some friends, so be careful. Honoring. Well,
I have studied the DNA, the lineage. I have a lineage chart here that's over 7 feet long. I've taken it from the present day genealogy of the most prominent names in the world all the way back to Cain, the mark. How accurate it is, I don't have it all because the time is short. I don't need it all. I hit the prominent tree of life. I knew, I know, I felt it, I sensed it. To show this to the genealogists, the geneticists, experts, and them to say, holy cow, where did you get this? Well, it took me, let's see, I just had a birthday just recently. I'm 66 years old now. It's actually took me 9,728 years to accommodate all of this. Go tell somebody you're 9,700 and a few years old. He's crazy as a sprayed roach. What do you think, preacher? I think he's drinking too much pineapple juice. You know what? I laugh at this stuff because the evidence has always stared man in the face. But has man accepted it? Oh no. We've got to go to play church every Sunday so I can have that warm, fuzzy feeling. I'm buying my way to heaven. Guess what? Your money's no good. We don't even have money. Why do you think you're going to buy your way to heaven? But the truth of the matter is, the evidence has always been staring people in the face. It just took a few diabolical, deceptive people under some disguise of religion to hide the facts, to hide the truth. And yet, somebody like me or my sister, my brothers, whoever come out and proclaim the coming of God. And I've given the dates, the year, the season. But no man knows the day or the hour. That is a true statement, but the season is mentioned in the Bible. And I've told you who it is, and I've showed you the scientific evidence that points that way. The Anunnaki have been here for a long time. They are still here. And Anunnaki's getting ready to expose themselves. No, not flash you. They're going to step forward. And I've let my friends, my beloved brothers and sisters down in Australia to know that Australia was always, always a sacred and holy land. And it is going to be moved back to its original location when all this is said and done. And you know what most of my Australian friends are saying, D?
Mm-hmm.
Crikey. How many know what crikey means?
It's the Australian interpretation of holy shit.
Exactly. That's what it means. I love the Australian people. I mean, I've never been to Australia, but I talked to several over there. Several. And the people are just literally beautiful over there. Literally beautiful. Now, I don't say Australia is perfect in any way. I don't think there's any place perfect. But Australia is miles ahead of the game. The people truly have a compassionate heart, not just for the country they call home, but they have a passionate love for one another. And Australia has done the cardinal mistake, just like this country made. We allowed cockroaches into our borders. We will take care of the cockroaches. You know who the cockroaches are. And you just don't kill the adults, you get rid of the whole colony. The Anunnaki are closer to Australia than you ever could realize. The Anunnaki were the warriors, they were the giants of olden days, they were the men of renown, passions, and renowned figurehood. I think that said that in Genesis 6. Could be wrong. Not. Our lineage comes from many worlds. Our culture comes from many worlds. But here's the bottom line. Our culture and our civilization is not perfect. By far, it's not perfect. But we, over the course of many eons, have made it work. And we've learned to be compassionate and live among each other. We all have one thing in common, is love. And we've learned to let that love manifest itself. That's why we have no wars. That's why we have no diseases, because we have searched and we've asked the right answers. Because the question is never asked until you know the answer. That's why I just said we have all the right answers, because we searched and we worked as one. Those who have said 123 right now, that before the Exodus starts, I'm taking 123 with me. With me. I am going to personally come get you. And I'm going to personally take you to one of the motherships, so you can get indoctrinated and get situated, so that when the Exodus does start, these people will know exactly what to do. They will be an example for those that are coming. And yeah, maybe you've lost a loved one recently, but guess what? You'll get to see that loved one again. Maybe you just lost a dog or a parrot, maybe even a little rabbit. You'll get to see them little animals that just perished. Because life is ever, ever existing, eternal. We don't die.
That's what I've been trying to teach
Things,
them. They're infinite beings and they don't realize it.
yep. Can you repeat that one more time?
That's what I've been trying to teach them is that they're infinite beings.
Exactly. Hold that thought. Because what I just got through saying roughly 51 minutes ago, I'm not trying to be exact, people, so don't think I am, but it was 51 minutes ago in a few seconds when I said, Ye are gods because scripture cannot be broken, infinite, eternal beings. Thank you, sister. We make a pretty damn good team. I got a question for you, though.
Okay.
How's your banana pudding?
I don't have any.
I've had people ask me, I'm ready to go home. Take me home. Please take me home. My reply to them, in due time, you're going home. But those who are going to go home are actually going to be called in the motherships that are sitting out there home for a couple of years, maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I can tell you this. You will live very comfortably. You will live greater than you could ever imagine right now as I speak. You will learn more about yourself during that time period and be among people of your own kind. I like to call it being equally yoked with love filled in your heart, the wonderments and amazement of a child, because you are our children. You are our brothers and our sisters. But once all this is said and done, the world has to be cleaned up. It has to be prepared for a new world that is going to come, the new Jerusalem. And when it's all said and done, you people who survived it will be brought back here and you will build a new world as it was intended to be some, 212,000 years ago, give or take a few. Who's counting, right? We will be there right with you, laboring also. And many of the structures in the cities will be brought here, already assembled and placed. And a new government shall embark upon, not as we see it today, but a new government for the people, kind of like our Constitution. We, the people, what in the hell happened? It was stolen. You was lied to. Well, pretty soon that lie is going to be corrected. And what was stolen, as our people have called it, your inheritance, will be given rightfully back to you. You can't make this stuff up. Hollywood has never seen a script like this. Why? Because it's true. It's documented. It's right there.
They do tell the
And
truth, but
those
it's in little tiny bits and pieces. So nobody catches on because cosmic law requires them to tell the truth mixed in with their lies.
exactly. And I have, when I say I chose wisely, I told my father here just recently that I did chose those, and I chose wisely. I looked beyond of who I was, beyond anything. I saw the childlike innocence in people's eyes and in their hearts, and I listened to their concerns and their words. I did choose wisely, and I told the council, I have chosen wisely. And I challenged the council, how many have ever been down there? None of you. So how in the hell do you know what's going on down there? I've came here for my 1 hour. Where is the silence? The silence is sitting before me because you're shot. You've never heard a Bill talk in this tone. Well, now you have. Those with ears hear good and hear loudly. These people are worthy. They are worthy, and I have chosen wisely.
Part of my
The
mission.
ones, yeah, and the ones who have ignored it, they will be given one final chance before the hammer falls. I like to remind people when I first came to Egypt, I was not a nice person, for the darkness of me fell across the land, and I did not care who I trampled. But now times have progressed a little bit more. And yes, I found compassion, I found love, and I found many with that innocence that I wanted to grasp a hold of. And there's many that I've said, you will be a queen, you will be a duke. Because she's a queen or he's a duke, doesn't mean he will rule with an iron scepter. No, it means that they have witnessed first hand, and they will be there for you as a loving mother would for any of her children. And the ones and the soothsayers, they will no longer exist. They will never incarnate back here ever again. My sister sitting across from me will verify that.
Yeah,
You will
Gabriel
see the
is definitely stating that they're deleted from the book of life permanently. They're
permanently.
never
Thank
to
you.
incarnate again. Correct.
My research books are very accurate. My theses and studies are absolute. The hidden mysteries have been given to those who have asked, not to those who scorn. That's biblical too. And even my brother said one time, for all go forth and tell the good news. That's the last two chapters in Matthew, by the way. It doesn't say just men. All you men go because you're the great I am. No, it says all. And who was the apostle? Probably a child and a descendant of Isis. And who she was? Her name was Magdalene. Magdalene. And what was her titlement? Queen. The Mare, Mary. So, Mary Magdalene. I speak the language fluently. I know the words by heart. And why can I make such a bold statement? Why can my sister D make a bold statement as that? Well, what have we been saying for a while? We've lived it. We've incarnated in it. We've immersed ourselves in it. It's what we were taught. And these teachings never drift far away from us. We might not get it all correctly in the beginning, but we will gather it all up in the end. I am Abil Abadanius. I am an Imadiraki of the Melchizedek order. I carry it very proudly, and I proudly tell people I know who I am, and I know where I came from. Do you? I can proudly say who my father is. I'm not out there trying to sell a book or a DVD. I'm not trying to portray that the Minerva ships, you have to go to the Minerva ship. Another deceptive lie. It really burns my rum to see that there is still a small percentage that are not going to make it because of the deceptive practice that went on and went on. It is a broke record. I love the world unlike anything man could ever truly grasp a hold of. I love people truly more than man could ever grasp a hold of. And that's me saying it. But you know what? I can probably proudly speak for all of us that have incarnated back here. I may be known as the destroyer, but again, I am a warrior, and this is what my father intended me to be. And with a warrior's spirit and a warrior's heart comes the most important trait that a warrior has: have compassion for those that he defends, and have compassion for those that he will destroy. We do not want to see nobody suffer, and I will not make nobody suffer. It has to stop. It has to come to an end. That train has already left the station. It's coming to you sooner than you could ever imagine. And with that said, I'm going to sit here and shut up and listen to what you got to say.
I really
I
don't have a lot
enjoy
more to say. I thought maybe we would wrap it up and take any questions or anything. What do you think?
This is your rodeo. I am a spectator and a participant. I'm not riding no bulls, though. Sure.
Let's see. Someone's talking about Nibiru. We see Sir Edward did not mention the humongous planet name that caused that eclipse. Why?
Well, why should I? It's not going to be around much longer. It's actually, some people call it Nibiru. We call it Nabaru because, well, it goes back to Sumerian Pleiadian lingo. Uh, and no, Nibiru, Nibiru, whatever how you want to say it. We will just call it, let's call it wormwood. Most people can relate to that. It is not the home of the Anunnaki, as some have said, and even Zachariah Sitchin was in question about that because in later years, after he had kind of proclaimed that, he found other evidence that said otherwise. So now the mystery still extended a little bit. It is the home of the Draconians. Yes, it is coming back. It has been seen. It has been announced. And yeah, NASA came out, what, January of last year or 2017 said we discovered a 10th planet in our solar system. Well, they didn't tell you the whole story, did they? Um, I don't have to talk about it that much. Unless people really want to know more about it, there's nothing need to know about it. It's wormwood. It's mentioned in Revelations. The flaming star, the dragon star, this planet of the crossing. Nothing good will come from it.
Ready for another one?
I hope. Huh?
Question. I'd like to know Sir Eddie's take on how the universe began. What was there before the Big Bang? How can something come out of nothing? And if there is a creator, who or what created the creator?
Well, that is the misconception. It's one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. We don't know how the universe became about. Nobody does. We do know who created the human species. We do know that all the four basic building blocks of DNA, which I proclaimed as God, is found in everything, including meteorites, even the moon rocks, even they're finding discoveries on Mars. The exact same DNA structure is found on Mars that you're found here. Now, the Bible does say, in the beginning was God, and with God was the Word. Well, what is the Word? It's a four-letter word, by the way. Life, love, Pila, PHLH, Sumerian, which meant truth, Pilaf, or Pele, P-E-L-E, which is Sumerian for life, truth, life. In the beginning was God, and with the God was the Word, the truth, and the life. I don't know who the great creator is. Nobody does. But the number one law of all physics is something came from something. With that said, one day we will know the great mysteries. How did the universe get here? And yes, it was created by a big bang. But boy, the theologians don't talk about that, do they, Dee?
I had a question from Mind Horizon. I'll provide a link of that page. Let me get that for you right now. I'll put it in the chat. And there's a great deal on that. So, you know, what I talk about, never stop asking why and always seek. And this will help. All right. Okay, next question. Are Earth's animals being saved before the destruction?
That's a no brainer.
Yes.
I said from the beginning, the innocent shall be saved, the innocent shall be taken. I have yet to find an animal that goes to church. I have yet to find an animal that is being deceptive. Yes, the animals are being saved. Not all of them. Unfortunately, not all of them are going to be saved. But their souls, their spirits will
They're
be
pure
captured.
soul. Yeah.
Yes. But some in the physical form are being taken.
Yeah.
I suggest people to follow the extinctions that are taking place around the world. The fish, the birds, the creatures that are just disappearing with no explanations. Yes,
Okay.
they are being saved.
Yeah, they are. Next question. Which races are the benevolent ones that we will meet? I know of a few.
Well, there's multiple races. I can't name them all by heart. I can name them by facial features or by what I do know. The Andromeans, the Centurions, the Taurusans, the Sagians, the Pleiadians. Uh, there's even some Anunnaki, which are commonly known as the Gray, that are helping us. They're very appalled by the split of their civilization. The only thing I can say
Yeah, people
is
don't
that
realize.
really, and the Draconians are our mortal enemies.
Yeah, there's several races of reptilian, just FYI people. And we're speaking of the ones that are the problem, not because there are some benevolent races. All right. The other thing is there's the Nomo. Ganesha
The
is an
Nomo.
actual being. I don't know if you all will get a chance to meet any of them. Um, the Nomo are highly benevolent. They're they are watchers. They've been trained to prevent things from happening on the planet prematurely, for sure. And so I don't know if you'll ever get to meet them, though, or not. Not sure. Certain ones might get a chance, possibly. But yeah, there are actually more than one type of gray as well. The Solipsi Ray are not good. They work with the Dracos. They're bad guys. The Reticuli, um, the ones that he spoke of, are good guys. So yeah, there's multiple races involved here. Like Gabriel keeps saying, too many players on the field. His sense of
Yep.
humor about it, yeah. So, okay, next question. Silly question, they said, but can the spacecraft see us when we wave at them?
Yeah, they can.
Many of them
They
have been
even tell
watching
you about
everything
your
on the
heritage.
planet, right?
Yes,
For a long time.
yes. This planet's been monitored for a long time.
Hmm.
And no, our crafts do not crash.
Okay, another question. What happens to the souls? What stays behind? Do they reincarnate? And they're referring to the good souls. In other words, heart-based souls is what I call them.
Well, the ones that are left here after the final retrieval will not reincarnate. They will be destroyed. It's like I've been saying, the swamp is not going to be drained. It's going to be buried.
It's going to be cleared completely.
Exactly.
Um, if we aren't taken in the first group, can we still help?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I expect you to. This is not going to be an overnight thing because when the process starts, it's going to take many, many trips. And many of you know who you are. You will be helping others. You will be on them crafts with people like me, people who are different color, people with different eyes. You will be helping them, but you'll know deep in your heart you're with family and you're saving family.
How can we tell the difference in the grays? The Calypsi ray are a lot smaller. I can tell you that much. And they're not good guys. The Nomos are blue, and then there's tall whites as well. So, yeah, you'll know because the Calypsi rays have a very bad odor, very sulfur. People call it demonic smell. Brimstone has been mentioned before. Let's see. What group is living or porting in Mount Shasta? More
Ah,
than one.
ah, um, it's all good.
And they meant to ask about
Uh,
Mount Adams as well, it says.
yeah, well, it's all good. It's all good for many species are here, including the ones that we are fighting against. I couldn't help but laugh because, well, uh, we don't live underground, but we do make our presence unknown as little as possible to keep the trauma down. Your governments around the world are under many, many evil entities, and these entities are fighting us tooth and nail. So if they don't know where we're at, they can't find us.
Okay. As far as Mount Shasta, as far as I know, I think, well, I know I've seen the Nomo ships there, which are a white, very bright orb ship. Small. They're
Mm-hmm.
not big ships,
Mm-hmm.
they're small. I know I've seen those. Beyond that, I can't say for certain. That's just my knowledge.
Well, it's like I've told people that I have chosen. When I went home, I went on a brand new Verana. And when I came back home, I came back here on that very same Verana. When I come to get you, I will be on that same ship. That ship is quite large, And when it materializes, it's going to stun everybody. That ship is 243.78 yards in diameter. Our ships don't land, they never land, they hover. And they will, even when they get to the mothership, they will be docked. They are held in place by a tractor beam. I mean, again, our technology is beyond anything you could ever comprehend. Wait till you see it firsthand. But when that ship appears, I'm personally, and I have told people, I am personally going to come off that craft. You will know who I am. And I'm going to call your name and I'm going to outreach my hand and come, take my hand. Let's go home. You will be brought back eventually because those who have chosen shall be the queens and the dukes, the teachers, the life givers. For those who are back, it may be a little bit of traumatizing for some in the beginning to know that my world is gone. Well, guess what, people? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Your world's been gone for a long, long time because you allowed it to be taken from you. Only giving it back. We're not here to conquer. We're not here to destroy. We're here to give your inheritance back, your life back to you. Now, the ones that took it away from you, well, that's a little bit different story.
Okay, next question. Are you going to expect military resistance when the Exodus starts?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But here's the beautiful thing. Hopefully, without no promises, hopefully, those who do try to resist, it will be futile. We're going to do it in a benevolent way in the beginning. Uh, your planes won't work. Your missiles definitely won't work.
Nope.
And your power grid and communications won't work. It will be taken out. Um, I've already tested the waters on this when I came back, upon coming back. Um, we have a very unique and frightening way to stop all of this. It's called the power grid. We can take the power grid out in a matter of seconds. When the power grid goes, your communications will go. There will be nothing left. Now, with that said, there will be some that will attempt to do other measures by force, mass force. And again, in a benevolent way, they will be taken out. And I say taken out, not kill. They don't intend to kill anybody unless it's the last resort. But when I say taken out, they will see the power that we have. That shit, my little rifle, my little artillery piece, my tank or whatever, it's no match against that. That's good and wise thinking. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah. Let's see. Does the Maltese cross or Templar cross come from the eight-pointed star of the Anunnaki?
That's a very excellent question. Whoever asked that, you've been reading, haven't you? That's good. That's what I encourage. Read, look. Um, Actually, the Sacred Red Cross comes from the Federation. I had somebody ask me here on a text message here just a few days ago, do we have any symbols? Is there any symbols that identify ourselves? We have no symbols, but the Red Cross is the cross of the Knights Templars, the protectors of the Sin Grail, the Holy Blood. And their emblem to identify themselves during the days of past was the Red Cross, the emblem of purity, the emblem for the Sangreal.
Okay, next question. Are the mantis beings good or bad?
Well, they're good. They're good kind of strange looking. Um,
There's
I know
more
you
than
people
one
call it
type that I've
mantis.
seen.
Yes, there is. Some of you that upon arrival at the motherships will see some beings that are, well, holy cow, did you see that? I'm not getting near them people. Remember, you're going to be among family. They carry the same DNA as you. Their structure may be a little bit different, but they're no lesser a being than you.
Let's see. Uh, as far as I know about, there's one mantis being that I personally, my internals tell me not good, but there's others I've seen that are. So, yeah. Yeah. Next question. Did you already talk about blood groups? We did basically, didn't we? We pretty much kind of skirted some of that.
We have a unique way to bring your bloodline back into the holy configuration, and it's painless. It'll take a couple hours. No, it's not a blood transfusion. It's just a infusion of genetical hind and part mitochondrial that will be injected, not injected by a needle, through a spray. Again, it's painless. Takes no
Um,
time.
will the satellites be taken down?
Some of the satellites are being taken down now as we speak.
Will the Exodus be portrayed as an alien invasion the government is preparing for?
Well, absolutely, because they know their time is short. They don't want nobody to see this happen. They don't want people to know how wicked they are and what they portray. Yes, yes, that will be happening. It's been already prophesized and it's already been implicated in some cases.
Will those of us with positive alleys um, be restored to negative? Is that something that should happen?
Yep, I just got through saying those who are not of the pure lineage line, your blood will be re-injected, and it take about 1 to 2 hours. It's done through a spray. We don't use shots, but through a spray, and you will be immersed in that spray. And once it gets into your system, it takes between 1 and 2 hours, and all the negative stuff that's within your body, anything that's within your body, shall be restored back to its original purity. We are all one family,
Based on
and
what
we
I
should
know, their
all be.
DNA is going to be repaired
Exactly.
and upgrades based on, yeah, what we've been setting up. Um,
I urge everybody, whether you read the Bible or not, read First Colossians, or well, read Colossians chapter 1, verses 26 to 27. It's all connected with Genesis 1, 26, 27. Can you see that?
yep.
All of that right there. That is the DNA structure of what makes the O negative bloodline so special. And we can talk about this in the future again for those who are curious and really want to know. But it's like Dee just said, it will be rebooted, regenerated.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of damage done to the fledglings as far as because they knew we were coming and they've been attacking your genetics purposefully so that you
Only a
wouldn't
handful
begin
of people,
ascension. Huh?
only a handful of people have seen this. And so I'm going to show it to everybody. What I'm getting ready to show you is the essence of all life in the universe. I'm getting ready to show you God. How many people want to see God? You sit back, everybody. You can see it. See that? This is a tube of liquid light. It is the essence of all DNA. It is the essence of every life there is. God always existed before the beginning of time. This is from where everybody came from. It is a working tool. It is a healing tool. And it does glow in dark. When it's activated, it glows in dark. I will hold it up there where people can see it. I've had some scientists look at this stuff and can't figure it out. They have found cells in there that can't be identified. They have found mitochondrial that cannot be identified. So maybe just in the medical terminology here just recently, the hemoglobinists and the geneticists that studied it have said, and I quote their very words, it's alien in nature. Imagine that. Take one more look, people. You're looking at life. You're looking at life. Prove everything. And it's in a glass tube. But what's this glass tube? Oh, that ain't glass. Well, yeah, it is. It's beyond man's understanding. You can call it glass. We call it a polymer. It cannot be destroyed, just like the liquid light cannot be destroyed. This is life right here. This is God, DNA.
Okay, next question. Will Eddie's mother be on the first Exodus? If so, will we be sharing a beverage together?
I cannot guarantee that 100%, but I have requested, Mom, it would be so great if you could come and see the first retrievals and be among them. Let them see you as we all see you. So I'm hopefully that will take place.
Okay, does the U.S. already have higher technology crafts, SSP, that was given by the evil races? Yes. I can answer that right straight up.
Yes, absolutely.
You're welcome, Miss Lady. Question, what race of dog do you have?
My little dog, his name is a mini pin, a
A mini
miniature
pin.
pincher. They don't even think they're human. They don't even think they're small.
Yes, I've been teaching the fledglings about folic acid and a lot of other things that are attacking their DNA. I hope you guys watch my channel because it'll help with your ascension process. Speed things along.
There we go.
There he
That is a
is.
mini.
His name's Hercules.
His name's Hercules.
Hi,
He thinks he
buddy.
knocked down all the columns.
He
And
talks to
he is
me
a
all the
pork
time.
chop dandy. Ain't that right, little buddy? All right, hop down.
He's got some
There
chompers,
you go.
doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Looks like a bubble wand. It does kind of, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Let's see. If I understand correctly, the Exodus should start happening inside the next 2 years, if not sooner. Basing this on when Abiel said that we wouldn't want to be on Earth in 2021. Is that a correct understanding?
I have the date right here, right there. I'm not going to give you the year because, well, most of you already know it, but there's the date as my brother has prescribed it. There it is. But my reply to your answer or your question, yes, That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, next question. What do you know about the fire?
What fire?
Which
You talking
fire?
about the California? Talking about the
Okay.
California fire?
We'll
Is
wait
that
and
what
see
they're
if they
talking about?
respond. That is the last question, so we'll wait for them to respond to which fire were they referring.
Oh, let me tell you something. In a benevolent way, maybe. I'm not done with California yet.
Yeah, my codes keep saying that I wouldn't really want to be on a coastline, to be honest. Just FYI, everybody.
I will say this very openly and very vibrantly. Australia, you are in the most safest zone there could be. Uh, you've got a ringside seat.
Let's see, the date on that paper was September 16th and not April.
No, not April. It's September 16th.
September.
September.
The question was,
Now,
what do you know about the fire? And they said the fire all around us.
the fire all around us, well, there's going to be a pole shift. We're witnessing that right now. Uh, all magnetics are connected with electricity and thermal thrusters. And with that said, the fire is around you, but the fire is shifting. The magnetics of the geosphere of magnetic north are shifting more west every 24 days. It moves roughly 24 miles every 24 days.
Yeah.
A significant number.
Anyway, we'll wrap up. We've been at it for 3 hours now, a little over.
Yep. Hold that thought right there. Go ahead and do what you got to do. I got to go somewhere for a minute.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyway, if anybody needs to contact me, my email is criticalbreak@outlook.com if I can speak. And yeah, it was a very, I know, informative day for many of you. A lot of revelations, including for myself, thanks to Gabriel. I did
My little
have,
beast of burden had to go out.
huh?
My little beast of burden had to go out. So he's out there doing his thing.
I think, didn't I tell you about the bowl of water that I blessed and I froze it? And I blessed it in the name of Gabriel, Adonai, and Inanna. And Gabriel's sigillium, was on the ice, along with a whole lot of other markings and letters and numbers. And yeah, it was interesting. I put that on yesterday's stream, so if anybody's interested in seeing that. Anywho, we'll wrap up. Any last words, sir?
Yep. Those over in Westmoreland, if you're watching this, best have my banana pudding. If I don't have my banana pudding, I'm going to be ill. So saith Roy D. Mercer.
Anyway, yeah. Much gratitude to you, sir. Thanks for hanging in
Much
there with me
gratitude
through
and
all
love.
this craziness that I've been going through.
Oh.
And to all of you, infinite terra. That means infinite hearts, because that's what you are. And we love you out past the stars and back more times than could possibly count. All right. Anyway, I will say,
And those
go ahead.
and and those be patient. Time is coming that I'm going to come get you. Most of you know when,
Yeah.
but those who don't, just be patient. Be patient.
And it wouldn't hurt to listen to what I've been trying to tell everybody about how to get in your heart space and find yourself, the real you.
Mm,
Redeem
the
yourself to
real you.
yourself. It couldn't hurt at all because there is a tipping point. Just saying. But anyway, so we'll say goodbye for today, and I will chat with you in the next few days or sometime soon. Okay, Sir Edward? Anyway, have a
Yeah.
grand day, everybody. Say bye, sir.
Sila, sila, sila. Tushimara means blessings to all. And yeah, Ira, I'll say this before I go. Ira, control your consumption of that pineapple juice, okay? That's good comedy right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Kiri
we will talk
Elisan to
soon.
you all. And that's in the last stream, too. Just a tip. Anyway, talk to you later, sir. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.